Welcome back to Studio Chatter. With over 15 years of photographing weddings, our next guest is no stranger to the wedding world, but he's never caught the bouquet. It's our very own producer, Pete Hansen.
And I really feel bad about that. I try to get the bouquet, but it just never quite got to me.
They never throw it quite that far.
They don't throw it my direction. I'm always in the wrong spot.
That's true.
You don't need a bouquet, though. You've been happily married for how many years?
Many years.
And you've always been in this industry, either the movie or photographs, right?
Exactly right.
Where's your passion?
Yes,
okay.
both of them, because they both have their qualities I enjoy.
Right.
Photography is, it's quicker, it's faster than video, because
Yes.
video you have to edit and whatever else. But they both tell stories, they both are fun to produce, and so I just really enjoy them both.
Okay.
And we got to produce The Grinch not too often with him, and I thought that was a fun time.
He's pretty good.
So maybe we'll do some more of that, hopefully.
Yeah,
but let's talk weddings.
We'll go on the road
Right, I was going to say, right now the focus is weddings. So people have a lot of choices with weddings, and it can be very expensive. So how do you narrow down the focus with weddings?
Well, before I answer that, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Okay. It's the first thing I want to ask is, or the only thing I want to ask,
Okay.
is rank for me. What's more important? Okay. Is it the venue? Is it the dress? Is it the ring? Is it the catering? Is it the flowers? What am I missing? Photography? What's the most important?
My girls said the
Photography.
It really
100%.
is.
The video and pictures at the end, and maybe
and I
the dress.
appreciate that just because, you're saying it to me because I'm here. I don't know. A ring is very important.
Right.
A dress is very important.
Well,
but
but
the rest of it, I think, is questionable.
The one thing that you keep forever, really, whether it's in the book, whether it's on the wall, whether it's electronic, it really is.
Or in your mind, when you see those
Right.
pictures, it jogs back the memories of that day.
But
You are
then
absolutely right.
all those other vendors you just mentioned, they would dare probably say, but if your dress wasn't beautiful, would you enjoy your pictures as much? If you didn't choose the right florist, would those pictures be as vibrant?
with all
so
that,
there is
all
a big
photography
balance going
patches.
on there.
But I think
Yeah.
your spot's #1 for sure.
Wow. Well, thank you. I wasn't going to put myself as #1, but I think it's way up there.
Yes,
It's
it
way
is.
up
Yeah,
there.
it is.
I left a wedding a few years ago. I went through the kitchen of the venue I was in so I can get out to my car easier. And as I'm going through the kitchen, here were the garbage cans. And here was a garbage can full of flowers. Here was a garbage can full of all the food that was being served to the guests that didn't get eaten.
Right.
And I go, wow. How much money do they spend on those things
Yeah.
that they could have spent in other ways? Not
Right.
particularly for the photographer, but just they wasted a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
But how do you pick the right one? So because anymore,
Well-
everybody has like the phone.
I feel like every mom that has a
Right.
phone or a camera has now become a photographer,
It's
which
true.
there
Oh,
are
yeah.
a lot of great photographers that have come from that. But I feel like that it's like 30 to 40% photography and then 70% leading and directing the show.
Good. You're absolutely right. Because I feel when I go on a wedding, it's like, because most weddings that I do don't have wedding planners. And so they look
Right.
to me. What should we do next?
Right.
When should we do this? Where should we do this?
Right.
And so, yeah, very much I feel like I'm leading and
Because I've been a part of
guiding things
both
through
and
that.
seen how important it was to have a good leader as a photographer, wrestling
Right.
people and getting it done so that we are done on time and vice versa. So,
So back to your question.
Yes.
Okay. So what are the things you look for? One thing you look for is experience. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
There's just no question that experience is good. And I'm not talking about somebody that just happens to have a nice camera, because that doesn't make them a good photographer. They just happen to have some money and spend for a nice camera. And I'm not talking about someone who shoots mountains and landscape all the time. They're not equipped or have the knowledge base to shoot a wedding.
Right.
You're looking for people that have experience in weddings. And bless their hearts, the new people you just talk about that are just coming into the industry. Do you want to trust your very most important day of your life to a newbie? To someone who's just learning how to use a camera?
Right.
No, you
Right.
really can't.
Right.
There's a place for those photographers. They can come and shoot if they get permission. Shoot at a wedding that's being shot by somebody else. So they're getting that practice. But you don't want to trust your most important day of your life to someone with no experience.
right.
So you look for experience, and then you see the experience by looking at their catalog through their pictures.
And that's
Okay.
really important, not to just see, oh, there's that same model in like almost every shot. Like you want to see variety.
see a variety. So
Yes,
you want to
and
see
see
a
them
lot,
doing
of
multiple
weddings, and
scenes.
it's suggested that you don't look at the highlights of the wedding, but you look at the entire wedding.
Okay.
If you go to my website, you can click on highlight type gallery, or you can look at a specific wedding and go through,
And go through
100
everything.
or 200 pictures from that wedding.
That's a
So
good
you want to
point.
look into it and see what's there. But you also have to recognize what is quality. A lot of people don't know what quality is. And there's a lot of different styles of quality. And we're going to talk about style in just a second. But you need to recognize that it's not the number of likes
Okay.
that a picture gets on Facebook or on Instagram, because all your friends are going to like whatever happens, good or bad.
Right.
So you have to have some, pick an eye and say, or choose your eyes. I'm totally misspeaking that, but you have to pick with quality, or see
Right.
things with quality and see what you're looking for. Then there's styles.
Definitely.
Right.
And there's a lot of different styles out there.
Right.
I consider myself more of a traditionalist, more posed type
And there's like
shots.
the moody,
And then
kind of
there's-
bohemian
there's
kind
exactly
of feel.
right, the moody kind
Yeah.
of stuff. There's the casual, there's the candid, there's the photojournalistic style.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with any of those.
It's just what is
It's
yours.
just what is your style. But realize also that what might work best for you might not work for your mother. Okay? Because what you want is the romantic, cute, fun things, but mom wants pictures for the wall or for the for the book
Right.
or whatever else.
Right.
So you have to do a combination of those, and so everybody's happy.
I think that's important when you meet the photographer and have a little sit down pre-wedding for them to kind of say, this is what I normally do, what are your expectations? And lay that all out, rather
Exactly
than
right.
wait till it's over and be like, geez, I wish the photographer would have done this.
Right.
Right.
Well,
You
you
never
need to
told
t-
him that.
you need to tell the
And we
photographer.
learned a lot with our first daughters, and then our second, we learned, hey, let's go do some temple pictures the day that we do our bridals, because then that cuts out a big chunk of time there
That's
at the
one of my
temple.
big
Just
tips.
different
That's
things
one of
like that.
my big tips is please
Yes.
shoot as much as you can before the wedding.
That's such a great
So I was
idea.
going to ask that. So how important is it to shoot like before the wedding, do some actual other settings?
Now, if you happen to be the purist and don't want to show your wedding dress off to the
Sure.
groom in advance,
Right.
then schedule a time afterwards.
Okay.
That's a good
a lot of
idea, too.
photographers are happy to do that. I'm happy to do that, especially if it's bad weather. But you can just go after the fact and shoot it a different day. Because during the wedding day, there's just no time.
Right.
You'll come out of that service or that ceremony, wherever it happens to be, and then boom, you got a luncheon within 30 minutes. And there's no way that a couple can get some really fun shots.
No, Mallory
in
and
20
Taylor
minutes.
missed their whole luncheon because of that.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
temple, it was July,
is
June-ish,
Exactly.
it was just busy.
Exactly. So as
Yeah.
much as you can, before or after, don't try to do it all on the wedding day. Yes, there are things that have to happen on the wedding day, the family shots,
Right.
the group shots, all those kind of things.
Right.
But otherwise, do it some other time.
I like that. That's such good advice, Pete.
And nobody wants a big surprise with expenses either, so it's probably important to sit down and talk about that as well.
Absolutely. And every photographer has packages, or they
Sure.
can do it a la carte and those kind of things. And it's just something to talk about.
Which brings me to another point. So then after the photos are taken, what's the turnaround time with that photographer? Do they wait 6 months till they get you those shots? That's
A lot of
important
people don't
questions to
realize that
ask.
taking the picture is not a finished product.
Right.
It's you take the picture, the photographer goes back to his office and then edits those photos, makes the colors pop, cropping a little bit, adjusting the pictures. And if you've shot 500, 600, 1,000 pictures or more, that takes time.
Right.
It's not uncommon for a photographer to spend upwards to 30 to 40 hours
Wow.
on a
Really?
wedding.
That many?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, there's no hard fast that you'll get it this fast. But
Right.
I try to deliver within a month's time, or even 3 weeks if I haven't got much going on. But within a month's time, I do deliver things within the first couple of days.
Right, if they needed
if not
just a
even the
few
same
fast
day.
shots,
Here's a couple
right.
of quick shots. Yes, you were married. Here's some proof of it.
Right.
But then the full package for me would be like 3 weeks to 4 weeks away.
And is
And
it
if you're doing an
important?
album, that could take a year. Or 6 months. So
Right.
it just varies.
Is it important now to have all the rights to the photos? Like I send you
You know-
a thumb drive, I do this, or are a lot of people saying, I'll do the printing?
That's
Still.
something again to negotiate. I'm the kind of guy that gives you the images with the permission to print.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm still the creator of the photograph, and so I still own the copyright.
Okay.
So I don't allow you to sell them and so forth. But then again, I'm not going to sell them either without permission from you.
Right.
That's the way I operate. Some photographers may do that differently. So it's something, again, to talk about when you sit down with them.
All right.
But,
Well, we're gonna cut you off because that's all the time that
Really?
we have. Yeah.
Oh, this
But
was
wait,
good. I could
who's in charge of the time around
You're
here? Wait
so
a second.
Well, you are, but I'm
Wait a
watching
second.
I'm actually watching that
Can I
time.
make one last
You
comment?
bet, you bet.
Yes.
Because I'm in charge.
Yes, you are.
So if we talk about meeting with the photographer, and that's really an important thing, because you're going to spend the day with that person. And
Right.
that person's going to run your day. When I first meet them, I said, hey, we're going to be the best of friends for a day. So let's
Right.
let's become friends, because you're going to be with them all day long, or for half the day. So you have to have a good relationship. Don't try to just smile your way through it because this guy's a jerk.
Right.
It happens. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
so meeting beforehand and seeing, is that going to be a good rapport between the two of us and our family? Because our family may
Yep,
not
yep.
jive with that sort
Yep,
of personality.
Exactly. Are they fun to be with? Are they joking?
Right.
Do they understand my vision?
Right.
All those things. You just got to get that rapport.
I like that. Good job.
Pete is fun and he is not a jerk. And if somebody wants to book you, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, PeteHansenPhoto.com is my website. You can
Okay.
contact me through that, or Pete@PeteHansenPhoto.com.
And the bow tie.
And there's my bow tie. Yeah.
Love it.
Fantastic.
Thank
Thanks so
you,
much.
Pete.
Thank you.
Coming up next, choosing the perfect wedding dress is no easy task, but we have a secret weapon for you. Stay with us to find out.